Guys, this is a very handy tip. Um, as your lives develop in what I call the whirlwind mode, sort of like a tornado, you're so busy changing diapers and taking kids to school, and your lives are focused on your kids. So you don't have time, much less an awareness of the stuff that's troubling you, that you're so busy taking care of the functions. And what happens is it gets overwhelming. It just gets overwhelming. And anything that can help you from being overwhelmed is helpful. It takes a little bit of discipline now to keep from being overwhelmed later. And people who just use money for that end up like Hunter Biden. It has to come through habits. Okay? Uh, one of the things Debbie and I did wrong was I paid for all of our help. If we had developed relationships with people where we'd kind of swap out helping each other and stuff, we would have. I'm glad I paid for everything, but my point is, it didn't require us to establish discipline. Okay, and that it takes. I hate the word discipline. It didn't require us to go through the pain it takes to establish new and healthy habits. That's always painful. It's like nothing happens good without a little sacrifice, a healthy sacrifice. All right. So, a lot of the stuff that I tell you, you probably ignore with good reason, and some of it with I want to do it myself reason, which is how we are at 2 years old. Leave me alone. I want to walk by myself. We all want that. Opa tried to get me to learn how to keep a set of books. I mean, big ledgers. He had his office manager show me. But PCs were coming out, and guys, I'm not kidding you. I cannot balance a checkbook by hand. There's something in my brain that goes on tilt every 20 seconds or something, and I miss things. I hardly ever made 100 on a test, even when I knew it all. I'd always have some what you'd call stupid mistakes, but my mind checks out for little moments. I never could balance a checkbook. I'd spend literally, I thought, all right, I'm going to balance this damn thing. And it wouldn't. I couldn't. But with the computer, I balanced it. But by hand, I couldn't. But here's my point. Opa was being helpful, and he knew accounting is important. But PCs were coming out, and I was starting to do, and I just, finally just told the office manager, I'm done. I'm going to figure out how to do it on a PC, and I did. Okay, but it took a few years before the software got pretty good, And the way I've taught myself accounting as an adult, I only had one accounting course in college, was QuickBooks. You can do trial and error with software and figure out the rules of accounting by what the software does with it. But you have to be reasonably intelligent and you have to pay attention. All right, so my point with that is what Opa taught me and tried to teach me, some of it I ignored and some of it I accepted, but the basic premise, got to know accounting, I believed him. Same here. You are going to be overwhelmed with passwords. And so what most people do is they use the same password or a similar password, blah, blah, blah. I started keeping up with passwords, stand by, in 2005 on a spreadsheet. No, wait a minute, stand by. I started keeping all my passwords in a spreadsheet in the year 2002. My first entry is AOL. I've already forgotten what that stands for. Screen name, Carl S. Strain. Password, Buster. Remember the cockatiel that I think Brandon named him Buster? I used that for my password for a couple of years. Walmart internet screen name, Walmart DVD rentals, Toyota Corolla key code, just all kinds of, just where do I go to find these passwords? This spreadsheet, this one spreadsheet. So from 2002 to right now, I have 1,119 entries in this spreadsheet that kept up with passwords. That's a lot of stuff to keep up with, but they're always right here. I always find my passwords. Why? When I create a password, I don't care if there's a hurricane or a tornado going on outside. I go to this spreadsheet and I enter it. That's the present day sacrifice for helpfulness tomorrow. And this is what people who make C's, D's, and F's never do. This is what people who know how to make A's when they need to learn how to do. You do right now what you need to do right now, so you'll be prepared tomorrow. All right. Every place I've worked, I've had to keep passwords, so I've probably got, not every place, but most places, I've probably got 20 passwords for every place I've worked, and I keep them here. I have a column that has the date, I put the password in it, and I have a column that says who it's for, me or so-and-so who I worked for, so I could sort them, and then I have a spot for a column for, what it's about, okay, direct energy, my electric bill, a Concho Rural Water, my water bill password, login password and stuff. That's the next column. Then I have the login ID, then I have the password, and then I have notes. There's always some notes that I need. Like here's one that says Social Security uses ID me username. Social Security had a very simple password till they bought some bullshit idea that they needed a third party to help them ID people. And this happens in the government a lot. Some private enterprise will come sell them some bill of goods so they won't have to do it. So anyway, I have this note. We'll log into Social Security. I got to use ID me, because I forget. I go in there. Damn it! What I put a little note out there to the side. So here we go. Originating date of the password. The person the password was for, myself or my employer. Okay. The last time I reviewed the password, I've got those three columns. So here's one that says the originating date was March 1st, 2023. The last time I used it was October 23rd, 2024. Shannon My Chart. They're keeping up with some medical stuff in something called My Chart. Okay. It has my login ID, my password, and notes. And in the notes, a lot of time I'll put the URL. Click on it, One place for all my passwords has worked very well, and that's a tip I want to share with you, that if you don't use it exactly, it might be helpful by some rendition of it, just like OPA insisting I know accounting. I listened to OPA. I may be the only kid he had who did listen to him, but go get him.